27, if I had known even half these cheat codes, I'd be a totally different person. But we don't live in regret. Lesson 35. It's not about looking back, it's about moving forward and what you do next. And trust me, some of these you won't see coming. You know what hit me the hardest? Realizing that every success, every failure, happiness, or my sadness, everything was up to me. Personal accountability. If you don't own your actions, how will you grow? Now, let's talk about consistency. This is where most people get stuck. They think they need to go all in with intensity for a day or two. But real growth comes from showing up consistently. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward, even if it's just a small step. Repetition builds the muscle, whether it's building confidence or mastering your emotions or your goals. Consistency over intensity is what separates success from failure. Gratitude powers happiness. Here's a quick win. Gratitude. The fastest way to change how you feel is to focus on what is going right in your life. When you practice gratitude, even for the little things, everything shifts. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff, but it's about finding the good and building from there. It's so easy to get caught up in what is wrong. Gratitude powers happiness, and the more you practice it, the more your mindset shifts. And trust me, it's a game changer. The real value of the goal isn't about achieving the goal. It's about who you become in the process of achieving it. It's not just about crossing the finish line. It's about the growth and the resilience that you build along the way. That is what matters. The goal is just the destination, but the real transformation happens along the journey. Self-compassion. We often think that being hard on ourselves will push us to grow, but self-compassion allows us to heal and move forward. When I went through the toughest breakup of my life, instead of beating myself up, I gave myself time to heal. It wasn't about doing everything perfectly. It was about showing myself kindness. When you're kind to yourself, you're able to pick yourself back up when life knocks you down. And trust me, life, it's gonna knock you down. Life is full of abundance. There's enough success, happiness, and opportunities for everyone. The only thing that holds us back is a scarcity mindset. You hold back, you think that there isn't enough to go around. But when you embrace abundance, you open up new possibilities. Life has more to offer than we believe. Don't limit yourself by thinking small. When I was struggling after a loss, my emotions were all over the shop. My grief turned into anger, and my partner at the time, she had to endure it. I didn't know how to handle my emotions, and it destroyed our relationship. But here's what I learned. Emotional mastery isn't about shutting down our emotions. It's about learning to manage them so they don't control you. When you can pause, reflect, and choose how you want to respond, that is emotional mastery. But by the time I had figured this out, the damage was already done, and I couldn't repair what I had broken. But I learned that emotional mastery is the difference between reacting impulsively and growing through the pain. Here's the thing, celebrate every step forward, no matter how small it seems. Progress is progress, and it's worth recognizing. The small wins add up. They build momentum and confidence, and they keep you going when things get tough. When you stop waiting for the big wins and start celebrating the small wins along the way, that's when you realize how far you've come. Progress, not perfection. No matter where you are in your life, I'd love to hear your cheat codes that have helped you grow. Drop them in the comments and let's grow together. If you really want to transform your life, you need to create a compelling future for yourself. Get fixated on how you would feel and who you would be in order for you to achieve your goals. This vision creates the drive for you to move forward, especially when the obstacles come. And here is something powerful to consider. Consequences. Consequences of staying the same. Where will you be in 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years? What would be lost because you chose not to grow? Visualizing both the rewards of your growth and the cost of staying stagnant will give you the motivation to go after it. Here's the thing, you don't need external circumstances to create the emotions you want to feel. You can generate those feelings within yourself. It's so easy to think that once you hit a goal, then you'll be happy. Someone recognizes your value, then you'll feel valued. But the truth is, you have the power to create those emotions now. When you take control of your emotional state, you're no longer dependent on outside forces. You become the source of your own happiness, confidence, and self-worth. I have learned that the best investment that you will ever make is personal growth. The skills you build, the mindset you develop, the lessons that you learn, these are going to pay for a lifetime. And it's not about quick wins or external successes. It's about growing into the person you were meant to become. The greatest investment isn't in material things. It's about investing in yourself and becoming the best version of yourself. And here's the harsh reality. Hell starts when the person you are meets the person you could have become. A lot of people wait for the right moment or for motivation to strike. But here's the truth. Motivation is overrated. It comes and it goes. And if you're waiting for the motivation, you'll never get started. The real power is in starting before you're ready. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the first step. Once you're in motion, you'll gain some momentum. And that's when motivation follows. Don't wait, start now. Now here's a lesson that took me a long time to accept. Risk is necessary for growth. You can't grow if you stay in your comfort zone. Taking risk means stepping into the unknown. And yeah, it's scary, but it's also where the biggest breakthroughs happen. If you never push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you'll never find out what you're fully capable of. Growth requires risk. The question is, are you willing to take it? When a relationship ends and you don't agree with the decision, it's easy to get stuck. But here is what I've learned. You have to respect the other person's choice. I think we're good together, but if you change your mind, give me a call and then you move on with your life. Don't stay stuck in limbo waiting for something that may or may not happen. You got to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you're left in stagnation, and that's a trap you don't want to fall into. Believe me, here's something that will save you a lot of wasted energy. Don't stress over things that you can't control. There will always be things in your life that are out of your hands. People's expectations, random events, they happen, and you can't change that. What you can control is what you can focus on and how you react to it. Instead of wasting time stressing over things you can't control, focus on what you can control. Your actions, your mindset, your attitude. That's where your power lies. Empathy is a real superpower. When you can understand what someone else is going through, you build a deeper connection that goes beyond surface level. We live in a world where people are quick to judge, quick to criticize. But empathy allows you to see the world through someone else's eyes. It helps you connect, build relationships, and allows you to show compassion in a deep and meaningful way. When you practice empathy, you're not just making someone else's day better. You're enriching your life too. Don't judge people. Judging people is a waste of time and energy, and it could be used instead on improving yourself. We've all been guilty of pointing the finger, but here's the truth. You don't know what someone else is going through, and your judgment says more about you. Instead of focusing on what others do wrong, focus on yourself and how you can become better, what you can do to grow. Because at the end of the day, you're in control of your actions, not theirs. We love our comfort zones, don't we? But here's the thing, growth doesn't happen there. Then you need to step outside your comfort zone. It's not easy and it's definitely not comfortable, but that's where the magic happens. When you push yourself beyond the familiar, staying comfortable keeps you stagnant. Trust me, you don't want to stay stagnant. Now here's something I thought I could handle, but life told me otherwise. You can't prepare for life's toughest challenges. Years ago, I thought I could prepare for a loss. I thought I could celebrate someone's life and move on. Understanding that life is precious and shouldn't be taken for granted. But when I lost my mum, all that mental preparation went out the window. None of it mattered. Life came at me. Life came and it hit me hard. And the grieving process wasn't linear. It was something more that I had to endure, step by step. Grief is personal. It's not something that you can map out. Everyone's timeline is different, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. It's not a journey that you can control. It's something you live through. Limbo is the worst state to be in. The worst. When I was going through a breakup, I learned this the hard way. Through a breakup, through someone I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And, everything worked out for the better. But during that period, that uncertainty of trying to win someone back and not knowing if I can, the state of indecision and hesitation, it was more damaging than the breakup itself. I put myself through hell because of that uncertainty. And honestly, that uncertainty was harder to deal with than losing someone to death, because death is finite. Breakups, that person is still out there, and you wonder, what if? My advice: don't put yourself through limbo. The damage from hesitation and uncertainty can hurt far more than the failure itself. Here's something crucial. Repetition is the mother of skill. You don't get better by doing something once. You get better through repetition. Every one of these cheat codes, confidence, emotional mastery, gratitude, they've all been built through repetition. It's like going to the gym. At first, it feels heavy, it's difficult, uncomfortable, but with every session, you're building muscle. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. The same goes for the mindset. Here's the thing, there's one skill that gets overlooked all the time, and it's one that changes everything. We're always looking for the big wins, but real happiness, that comes from the small moments. We're always looking for the big things, but real happiness, that comes from the small things. It's in the everyday little moments of joy that we often overlook. When you find happiness in those small moments, your life starts to become more fulfilling. Don't wait for the next big thing to celebrate. Find joy in the present, in the small victories, in the connections you make, and in the progress you see. We all have rules for how life should be and how others and how people should act. But here's the truth I've learned. The fewer rules you'll have, the happier you'll be. When you have a set strict of expectations of how life has to play out, you set yourself up for disappointment. People won't always behave in ways that you expect, and life doesn't always go according to plan. But when you let go of those rigid rules, you free yourself. You start focusing on what you can control, your actions, your mindset. That is where true happiness comes. Letting go of control and living in flow. Here's the thing, success without fulfillment is failure. You can achieve all the external goals in the world, but if you're not fulfilled inside, what's the point? True success isn't about ticking off checkboxes and milestones. It's about being aligned with your values, feeling a sense of purpose, and being fulfilled in what you do. So don't chase success for the sake of it. Chase the kind of success that makes you feel fulfilled inside. Your health is everything. Nothing tastes as good as fit and healthy feels. Well, there's lots of really great food, but you get my point. You can have all the money, all the success, all the accolades, but if your health is suffering, none of that matters. We live in a world where lifestyle choices are the main causes of sickness. No one is going to care more about your health than you do. So take care of yourself, invest in your health. It's the foundation for everything else in life. We all know stress is bad, but too much stress is poison. It seeps into every part of your life, your mind, your body, your relationships, and it slowly breaks you down. If you're not actively managing your stress, it builds up until it's overwhelming. It's important to recognize the stages of stress and take steps to reduce it before it becomes toxic. Whether it's through mindfulness, exercise, or setting boundaries, your mental and physical health depends on it. Don't judge people based on class or status. Real merit is in the character, who they are as a person. What they do, what they have, that's just filler. True judgment of someone comes from how they treat others and how they show up in the world. Live by a creed. Find your purpose. Find your why. Everything else falls into place, gives you drive. Your why gives meaning to your actions, fuels your drive, and keeps you going when things get tough. For me, why is growth. Becoming the best version of myself and helping others to do the same. What's yours? Find it and everything changes. Life is tough. Life is unfair. Life is cruel. Life is brutal. But here's the thing. There is such a beauty to it as well. Nature, opportunities, relationships, all of it. You only have one life, but if you live it right, once is enough, my friends. Learn to focus on what's beautiful in your life. You just have to look for it. The beauty, it's always there. Your emotions shape your reality. The quality of your life is the quality of your emotions that you feel every day. If you're constantly living in negativity, frustration, or anger, that's what your life becomes. But if you focus on gratitude, joy, and peace, your experience of life transforms. Your emotional state defines how you experience the world. So focus on cultivating emotions that uplift you. Your worth comes from within. It's not from what other people think, and it's easy to get caught up in external validation. What others think of your achievements, your looks, or your success. But here's the truth. Your self-worth isn't tied to anyone's opinion. When you build that internal validation, you no longer need approval from others. You become grounded in who you are, and that's where real confidence comes from. When it comes to healing, healing is not linear. Healing is messy. Some days you'll feel like you've made progress, and other days you'll feel like you're back at square one. Healing doesn't follow a schedule, and it doesn't need to. It's a process, and the most important thing is that you keep going and be kind to yourself along the way. One of the biggest energy drains in life is regret. Dwelling on the past, regret is a waste of energy. You can't change the past, so there's no point on dwelling on it. Instead, focus on what's next. Learn from your mistakes. Use the past as a lesson and keep moving forward. Your energy is better spent on growth. Vulnerability is strength. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open yourself up to deeper connections, growth, and real strength. Being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. It means you're strong enough to show up as your authentic self, flaws and all. That's where real connection and growth happens. Love deeply and passionately. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Know that you can pick yourself up no matter what life throws at you. Life is all about taking chances. Here's the thing, life's challenges aren't here to break you. They're here to make you grow. Every obstacle, every failure, every setback, it's all part of the process. Life doesn't throw challenges to defeat you. It's testing you, pushing you to become stronger and more resilient. Embrace the challenges, because that's where the real growth happens. One bonus tip, learn to be a great partner. Invest in your relationships, especially your intimate ones. Don't take your partner for granted. Stay curious, put in the effort in growing together. Relationships are about giving, not keeping score. So those were the greatest cheat codes that I've learned along the way that I wish that I knew at 27. I'd love to know what cheat code resonated most with you. And like I said as well, what cheat codes have you had that have helped you grow? It doesn't matter your age or where you come from. I want to know, because I want to grow. Choosing to continually grow, that's what life is all about. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next time. Invest in yourself, because you deserve this. You just need to be willing to put in the work.